The better thing about going out is you don't have to shower as much if you don't go out. That's why I try to have guests regularly. It reminds me to shower and to clean everything. Yeah. The more frequently we game, the more frequently I bathe.
See, we're contributing to hygiene.
You're contributing to my health and my well-being. This is really good chili.
Thank you.
You can make this for me anytime.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Green Hill Gamer Guild podcast. I'm your host and GM, Joshua. We are an actual play podcast focusing on character-driven narrative and humorous interactions between friends. We love telling stories through tabletop gaming and hope you enjoy our stories too.
My name is Kollin, and my character's name is Hawk.
Hi, my name is Mel, and my character's name is Jax.
My name's Adam. My character name is Russ Baker, or Wheels.
I'm Chris Valentine, a.k.a. Memo Morales, a.k.a. Deke, a.k.a. the Latin lover gangsta.
General note, there is now a new fast food restaurant in your guys' world that was developed in the other game. It's called Rick Donald's.
Is it what we think it is?
Well, they have a Nick Cage sort of analog called Rick Mage, and that's who they saved in their big fight. And it's his restaurant that he made, along with someone named Donald, that we haven't fleshed out who that is. And there's a couple things, Adam, that I wanted to talk to you about real quick.
Oh.
So, no, this came up because when I was editing the session 0, where we were doing stuff, I realized that I forgot a detail about your character, and I want to ask your opinion on what we want to do. So, your character's living situation. The whole time I've been assuming he was living with Roscoe over the bakery. Mm-hmm. And in the first session, you actually mentioned that he's in a part of a foster family. So if you want me to, I can bring them in. But if you'd rather just keep with what we've been doing, I'm fine with that.
Like he was fostered from his parents.
Before he traveled in time? Or... I mean, I'm fine cutting them out completely, because we haven't even introduced them. At all.
Biological didn't bother.
Your home life has purely been at the bakery, which I was cool with because
That's why I assume he was fostered to like them.
Okay, that works.
Like the bakery is a foster family.
Basically, your younger brother adopted you as an old man.
Yes.
Okay.
As
with Rita as like the backup legal guardian or whatever. Okay, that's cool. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just want to clarify that, and then. With your future self section.
Down here.
I think it's on the...
Yeah.
Is it on the other page? Let me see. Yeah. So every time you learn of something that caused your future self to become what they currently are, you circle it. And every time you undergo an experience that echoes something that happened to them, you cross it out. Is that, were you understanding that correctly? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then you can only have at max 5 circled before you have to cross them out from there before you can circle anymore. So you're still doing fine. I wanted to make sure we both understood because I'm going to try to put things in your way that echo things.
Okay.
So that you can start crossing stuff out because that's how you get these things.
Okay.
And those are going to make things more interesting. Because they replace... these. You get basically new versions of the universal moves.
Okay.
So you can't, like if you get this one, you have to replace comfort or support that's on there with this move. So anytime you would use that, you have to use this.
Okay.
And they're interesting. So like replacing comfort or support, you replace it with when you coldly dismiss someone, roll plus mundane. On a hit, they mark a condition or leave you alone. Their choice. On a 7 to 9, they can also choose to inflict a condition on you. So you're kind of like getting darker.
Yeah.
Is a way of
progressing through as you're crossing things out and becoming more like
your future self, yeah. And probably quicker than you would have if you would have just stayed in the past. Oh, that chili was good. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you. No, I'm going to finish it because I'm taking it home. So
I'll get seconds when we have a break later. Adam and or Mel, who wants to do the recap page this time?
You want me to?
Yeah.
Alright.
So what happened last time on Super Punks?
Last time on Super Punks, that'd be 3 of us, went to Eagle's headquarters looking for we're looking for a piece for the teleporter, or
Yeah, the teleportal.
the teleportal. And when we were there, we were questioning Eagle, who was turned into like Dark Eagle, about his past, and we found out Rorschade was part of his previous protege prior to Hawk. Deke is now back into the present time with us. I think.
Blast from the past.
I think you're back in the present with us. And we're back at the warehouse, I think.
You're in the Sanctum still.
Yeah.
Sanctum.
Yeah.
You don't know whether you're in the past.
Yeah, that's present. We're in the present time, which is maybe
The present past,
Yeah,
or if you're still in the
present.
the future.
Or
Future.
Future and perfect.
Future. Yeah,
The future
it's
and
hard to
perfect.
tell what
Partnership.
we're in the present now, but we don't know what that is.
Dude, you've had so many time jumps, you don't even know what's up
Right?
anymore.
There's no way of knowing.
It's like, oh, steamships, we must be in the 1860s. Nope. 200 years in the future, people regressed.
That's a fucking hawk.
It's an omen.
Ooh.
No, that's a hawk.
It's a hawk.
Yeah,
Wow.
Hopefully no one has a small animal outside.
It's a small hawk. It's peregrine.
They like to hang out in our backyard because there's chipmunks.
that'd be good.
Yeah. It's a snack.
We've never seen them catch one, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
They're hunting.
There was a day a couple weeks ago where we saw like 3 of them circling over a field. I think there's a field. Is it that? No, that way. They were like way off in the distance, but you could see 3 of them like circling above this field. There must have been something good over there. So yes, you don't know whether you're in the past or present or future.
All right, I think we came across somebody named Shadow Man.
That's what we've been calling the
Big bad.
The big bad.
the current big bad.
I just call him Pelon.
Little arc.
That means bald in Spanish. Baldy, baldy, bald.
So, Deke,
Yar.
you arrive in Rorshade's Sanctum, and you're on the like step pad or whatever you want to call it of the teleportal. And you're laying down, and you're back in your body, and you feel the uncomfortable press of that watch that was in your back pocket
Yeah.
that he just gave you. And there's a little beep from it when you and it are together again. There's like a little beep that it makes.
Surprisingly good battery life. Lasted 25 years.
What? What do you do when you arrive? You see Rorschade and Greaseball Lightning are kind of standing off to one side. They were operating the machine, and your fellow super punks kind of standing there, and they're all looking. Everybody looks surprised at what just happened.
You guys couldn't give me another hour? I mean, honestly. Like, do you know what I was doing, like, before you just pulled me here? Models.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Super.
We probably don't want to know.
But did running from the Shadow Man clear Fred, or did I get that from him?
Running from him cleared it. I can't remember if you got it again, though. But I don't think so, because I don't know that you got back into any kind of fray.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can just clear it. Who's going to respond?
Literally, you
I'm
have
pretty
no
We're
excuse.
We're just glad to have you back, man. We were pretty worried. We had to
keep lugging your
24
body
hours
around.
a day. There's lots of moving your body that we had to do. Keep you from getting any bed sores.
Wheelchair. Just keep on rolling me around. You could have given me another hour. Literally the worst decision you have made so far as leader.
Well, sometimes leaders have to make the tough choices.
Just keep on telling yourself that.
Are you trying to adjust his labels?
No, I'm just,
Okay, just venting.
Yeah.
Okay. Rorschade kind of walks over to this little... It's actually a magnifying glass, but it's a little bit bigger than a normal one. And he holds it, and he just focuses for a second, and you guys can see that it swirls, and it's looking at Eagle Tower. And it is still Dark Eagle Tower. All the additions and stuff are still there, so you guys are still in the future.
Okay.
And he walks back over the machine and kind of looks at it, and he just says, "We've used all the power."
I guess, does that mean we need to find a new battery or a new magical device?
He says, probably could rig it with a battery.
Okay.
But it would need to be a powerful one, because I'm thinking the lack of power that it had is why we pulled his consciousness here instead of us joining him in the past. Well, present.
Mm-hmm.
What about wheels?
Well,
Can you
snap.
generate that kind of
Yeah.
power for us?
Lightning says, I don't know if he can, but I might be able to. But Rorschade seems uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And you know, Hawk, from
Enclosed space.
the way that the Eagle's tech works, it needs like a steady power source,
Oh.
and it would probably not be good.
Okay.
It might work, but it would be really risky.
Yeah.
And we are in enclosed space. So.
You also know that it doesn't, none of the Dark Eagle tech, this is the teleportal that you have is actually one that still exists. It's the model that existed in your time.
Okay.
The current Dark Eagle tech looks like it uses some completely different power source from that, but it looks very similar. Like it looks like you could easily tie one of the new power sources into
Okay.
the teleportal.
Well, it looks like we're either going on a heist or sitting in the future.
I vote we need to go find some power somewhere.
Or is there a black market that maybe we could find this stuff on? I mean, he probably has lost one or two things along the way, and evil villain breaks in, steals it. No, we might just have to beat up some dudes to get it. I'm cool with that.
It might be worth looking for your brother to see what kind of connections he has.
Yeah. Yep. Do they know that I saw him on my way to the tower?
I don't know. Have you shared it?
I can't remember. I don't think I shared.
Doesn't sound familiar to me
No.
that you shared that
Okay.
detail. But
So they don't know what he
they
is.
would probably know of
They know of Grey Ghost.
Grey Ghost, but they may not know that you actually know who he is.
Yeah.
Or any
Okay,
of
guys,
that.
I know who Grey Ghost is. It's Hugo, my brother. And I actually saw him earlier. Don't think he saw me. But maybe we could try, see if we can get his help.
Okay.
Lightning mentions that he's pretty sure Dark Eagle's going to be looking for everybody. So what if we tried to distract him somehow? There's a prison full of people that he's captured. I think we should just break all of them out.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen my uncle in a while. I mean, I'm not sure if he's actually in fighting shape anymore. He would be... Yeah, he'd be in his 60s at this point. I'm not entirely sure that's relevant fighting age. But hey, we're brains. We can just, leave you guys the physical stuff.
I mean, these people could still be criminals. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of innocent people locked up in there, but...
But if we go back,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
And besides, the enemy of my enemy is my frenemy.
Right. We wouldn't just be causing ourselves greater complications down the road by freeing a bunch of supervillains.
In the future.
In the future.
And in the
But
past, we
maybe-
just lock them all up again.
And in the
See?
future, it won't actually happen.
Maybe.
Let go of the old eagle, Hawk. Let go of the old eagle. He's not the same man. It's okay to do things that are dangerous here because none of the stuff that we do matters. This reality probably won't even exist when we go to the past.
Or we know what it's
He's trying to
gonna
shift
be.
your danger up and your savior down. Do you accept it?
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Finally, the choir boy joins us down here on the ground.
So,
Not afraid to get your hands dirty now, right?
I mean, my danger's still at 0. But
what do you guys want to do? Are we doing this distraction?
Let's try it.
We don't
now?
just do it right now. We need to get, like, some info if you want to actually be successful. I mean, come on. The last time you ran in without a plan, it didn't work out.
Right.
So.
Right.
I got a couple tricks under my sleeve, and I think I can teach a couple of them to Wheels.
I've been reading the files only with this stuff that's the same from the past.
Oh no, you have access to all of it except, well, did you pick that you have access to it? No, you don't.
Right, I think...
You didn't. I don't think so. On your love letter.
Yeah.
You wanted to clear a condition. Yes, it'll work with anything that you downloaded to, like, a portable device of some sort before you left the present and came to the future. So probably wildly inaccurate.
Right.
But feel free to try to use it.
Well, I mean, the general shape of the person would still be the same.
Other than all the
Security,
statues he
yeah.
added on the outside of you, yes.
It's gotta be so weird.
And what? You got statues?
Yeah.
Why didn't I get statues?
Oh, that's right. He hasn't been outside.
Yeah.
What's up with that, man?
It's not, like, something I'm proud of.
Can't be a good thing.
Some of them are pretty, like, not flattering.
You wearing your tidy whities outside of your pants? I get it, yeah. That wasn't a good look for you.
Okay. I'm gonna roll plus spirit.
For what?
Been reading the files. I wanna pull up, like, a map of the prison.
Okay.
Sweet. 11, 12, 13.
Go ahead and read the move.
Been reading the files. You've learned about the superhuman world through your mentor's resources. When you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, your call, roll plus superior on a hit, tell the team one important detail you've learned from your studies. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember on a 10+. Ask the GM a follow-up question. They will answer it honestly. On a miss, the knowledge, or the situation is well outside your base of knowledge. The GM will tell you why.
Jax, what did you get access to with your love letter?
The news feed.
That's right.
News feed and what was Eagle's problem, earlier. But I got access to the news feed, so I know all about Hugo and his family, and that the Grey Ghost has put out a notice on him, like a kind of a hit thing.
You have access to his network of robots.
Yes.
Okay, and a hollow map of the city.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay,
So that's the only map I have, though, is that. But I can cross.
She is able to. You guys are able to together upgrade because your success was so high. You guys were able to upgrade your map to include the current plans.
Okay.
So you have access to everything. The layout is it was called the brick for a reason. It's basically shaped like a brick, and it has just row after row of prison cells going up it, and it was like 10 stories high. Now it's like 15.
Okay.
The outside is covered in like Art Deco style statues of Hawk, like, all the way around it on each tier. And it's like a brick with a brick on it with another brick on that, and they're smaller going up. So and then there's 15 total floors across all of those.
A 3-tiered cake or a
Pretty much.
15-tiered cake?
Yeah, it's like 5 floors and 5 floors and 5 floors. So there's been some slight remodeling from the way it was, because it was just 10 floors of solid rectangle. As you're looking at that, Lightning says to Wheels, have you ever turned into electricity and gone through wires?
No.
That's a thing we can do. I can show you how to do it.
Okay.
We can go in there and wreak havoc on the electronic systems that are in place.
That's good, because I remember all the inmates had collars to keep their superpowers in check, but it was all controlled, like, just through regular electronics remotely, so that's going to be awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? What's your plan? Are you guys going in as a group to one location, or is somebody going off to meet with Grey Ghost, or is somebody going to run a panty raid on Dark Eagle's place and try to get a battery, or
Well, I can go meet with Hugo.
Okay.
And first I have to find him, but I guess I know where he is.
Well, he would
Used to
know
be.
anybody that's in the prison we should look out for,
Right.
too.
do you want to do that first? Is that how you guys are doing?
Yeah, probably should go ask him.
Okay. Are you going alone?
Am I going alone?
Yep. I'm only asking because of
I can go alone.
your access. You can, if you go alone, you don't have to roll. If you go with the group, you have to roll.
Because I have to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I probably should go alone. 'Cause I haven't covered that many people camouflage-wise yet, so not sure I want to try that. Have this be the first time.
Oh, you're fine.
Fine.
You'll get that in a minute.
Okay.
Well, the rest of them will get it. Rorschach actually, I'll just give it to him now. Rorschach actually hands you guys these and says, "These are the last copies I have for a while. I have to make more, but if you need an oh shit button, there it is.
Sweet.
Mark it and you'll come right back."
I have a question. Now, what if we're being very, very sneaky? We put one of these cards onto someone else, accept the invitation, and transport them here. Could you maybe put like a containment field around the thing, and then, you basically just have a prisoner cage? So
They would have to be the ones to mark that they accept.
Mm.
Whoever marks it is the person that has traveled.
could I kind of control their hand and do it?
I don't know. I don't think that's ever happened before. You can attempt it if you want. I don't really have any place in here to contain anybody, though.
Seems like a good idea. You should probably get on that sometime.
I'll think about it. I'll also think about putting containment fields around my books so people that visit don't read them randomly.
That also sounds like a good idea.
Alright, so the three of us are on heist duty? The four of us?
Is that what's happening?
I mean,
And are you guys leaving before or with same
No.
time as Jax? Or are
Not
you
at
waiting
the
for
same
Jax?
time. I think
Okay.
we're gonna...
so I'm going to go try to find Hugo real fast.
We'll
and then
divide
just
these
meet up
scenes
with
then.
them.
So you go back to the building that you last saw him, and it's a burnout husk. There's
Right.
nothing left in it. The weird thing is, there's no fire marshal or anyone even investigating. It's just like a burnt husk that's just been left alone now. And it just kind of seems like it burned itself out. But when you check your news feed, you don't see any details about people getting caught in it. Where do you go from there?
So either it was an empty building or he got everybody out.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I guess...
Or the
only
news
thing
is ignoring it because Dark Eagle doesn't want that
doesn't
news
want
out.
the news out.
That there was a fire.
I think I'm not entirely sure how to find him.
You know where he lives if you want to go that route.
Do I know where he lives? Okay,
Mhm.
because I couldn't tell from the...
Yeah, in
Okay.
addition to knowing who he is, you kind of, I'm going to say you creeped a little bit on him. That's how you know he has a family, he has kids, and they don't know about him being Grey Ghost.
Right. Definitely. Okay. And I also know that Dark Eagle has kind of a bounty out for him. Or...
Oh, yeah.
Careful. Okay, so yeah, I think I want to go try to find him. I'm assuming he's probably gone home.
Okay.
If he's not around the building.
So the house he lives in is it's in the suburbs. It's actually near where Deke's parents live in the present past.
Okay, so it's a neighborhood I kind of know.
Yeah, so you are going along and you kind of see the light. There's like a bay window in the front, and through it you can see that the family's having dinner by the time you get there.
Okay.
It's just after sunset. I'm assuming you guys are trying to move it in the nighttime. Yeah, so it's just after sunset. So they're sitting down for dinner, and you can kind of see them around the table through that window of the house. How do you approach? What do you do?
I'm gonna go knock on the door, but then I'm not gonna go like ring and run, but I'm gonna kind of use my stealth and ring the doorbell, try to get him to answer the door, figuring being the man of the house, he'll probably be the one answering the door. And see if I can entice him out of the house to have a conversation with him. I don't want to just show up and say, hey, because it's probably going to be a shock.
Okay, so let me see your love letter so I know the family names. Okay, so you ring the doorbell and you hear a little girl's voice say, "I'll race you to the door," and she starts to run, and you little other second feet little Johnny's running as well, and then you hear Hugo saying, come on, guys, I answer the door after dark. And then they kind of like stop right at the door and they're like, but we want to see who it is. And you can kind of hear them jumping on the other side of the door, trying to look through the peephole, but obviously you can't do that when you're jumping. And then he comes to the door and opens it, and not the brother you remember. Already got a little bit of receding hairline kind of thing going, and it's a little gray around the edges. It's like, and he shouldn't be old enough that should be the case. Right. So it's obvious that stressful. He's got the stressful vigilante life. So are you completely invisible to them then? Or
I am, because the kids are probably right behind him, so
they're kind of by his...
call his name. I'm going to call his name, but I'm going to be like in the front, and hopefully there's a tree in the front that's big suburban, kind of.
Yeah, well, sure. Why not?
Hang out in the tree and just say, just call his name, Hugo. And so hopefully he'll hear me, because I'm trying to be...
He seems unnerved when he hears his name called. He's kind of like, what the hell?
So Hugo, it's me, Jax. Don't freak out. Don't freak out, baby brother. But
he turns around and tells the kids, go back inside the mom and lock the door behind me. And then steps out, and he pulls a little baton, like a collapsible baton, out of his pocket that he had kind of hidden there, and he undoes it and then walks out to under the tree. And
so the minute I see that, I don't want to be zapped or anything, so I reveal myself to him.
Okay. He gasps and he's like, Jasper?
Hey, Hugo.
What is going on? And how do you look the same?
Okay, it's a funny story, which we don't have a lot of time to go into right now, but my team and I are here, and we really need your help. Because back when I disappeared, we disappeared because we all got transported to now.
So no time has passed for you?
No time has passed. So, apparently.
So much happened.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
They destroyed the trailer park. The exemplars. The exemplars in HK destroyed the trailer park in their fight.
Oh, okay.
When you go back, you need to make sure that doesn't happen. They killed Dad.
Yeah. I'm not happy about that. Not happy about that. We'll make sure that doesn't happen at all. But so you're doing the thing all by yourself now. You're doing the vigilante thing all by yourself.
I'm the only one left.
The only one left?
As far as I know, I'm the only vigilante left in the city.
Okay. Well, we really need your help, because to get back and stop all this stuff from happening, we need to score a power source of some sort to power the machine that will get us back. Do you know of anything?
Well, Eagle uses these... I've been trying to figure out what the hell they are in my workshop. They're oblong shaped, and they have a glowy center, and it kind of goes between a blue through to orange, and then back to blue, and it just kind of oscillates between the two. I've got one in there, but I don't think if I take it out from what it's currently in, it'll just depower itself. That's the problem with them. At least with the ones in the drones, because that's where I got it from. I grabbed an Eagle drone. It actually reminds me a lot of HK tech from HK Ultra.
So, if we...
He has to have a supply of them in his tower. He has to.
So we have
because it's the only way he would be able to put them into the things that he uses.
So that's the only way we can do it. We can't just grab a few drones. We need to go to the source then.
Yeah, unless you have a tech expert, but...
Does Hawk know enough to...
Depends on what Eagle taught him. But either way, I think you would have to go in there to get the tools you would need. Right. So if you're going in there to get the tools, you might as well go in there to get a battery. Right. And I don't know how he gets the power, because it's cosmic. The power is cosmic. I mean,
but he's just encased them and
I had to move my workshop because of this thing. When I got it and realized what it was, I knew if I tinkered with it wrong, it would be like a small grade nuke going off. So I had to move my workshop.
So your workshop's no longer here at the house.
It's not even.
elsewhere,
It's
nowhere
it's in the
close.
middle of a park.
Okay.
Because it's the only way I could ensure that when I was tinkering with things, nobody
Our
would get
park?
hurt. War Maiden Memorial Park.
Oh, okay. War Maiden Memorial Park. Wow. Okay.
He wants to rebrand it to Hawk Memorial Park, but there's been resistance.
Seems like a lot of
that.
Hawk Memorial going on.
Yeah, he thinks that makes him look better, but nobody buys it. We all know it's just a show.
Well,
The
this
door
works
opens
out.
and his wife is kind of looking, and as soon as he hears the door, he collapses it, puts it back in his pocket before she even opens it. But then she's like, "Hugo, what are you doing?" I'm assuming she can't see you.
Yeah. Now, once you open the door, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, stealthy.
He's like, "I gotta go."
If this works out, then we'll do our best to make sure none of this happens. But I'll find a way to let you know.
Are you guys gonna make a distraction, or do you need me to create one?
To get into the tower, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I go back to these guys, and we're probably.
This is him talking before he goes back in.
Oh.
He's asking if
He's
you're
asking.
making a distraction, or if you need him to.
I need you to take care of your family. I saw you earlier with the burnout building, by the way. And what was that?
Vandals. People resist Dark Eagle in whatever way they can. Who are you talking to? And he's like, I really gotta go.
You go on, and we'll take care of this. But thanks for the info, no bro. And hopefully I'll see you.
Get back there. I don't
Yeah,
want to
so-
have to live this life.
Yeah.
And he walks away
That's
and
our
goes
plan.
back inside.
Well, family pie. Dad's dead. Okay. So then I gotta get back to these guys.
So how's Jasper doing? Having seen a niece and a nephew
Not well.
that she didn't really get to actually interact with.
Yeah, not well.
A sister-in-law that she didn't get to interact with.
Right. I mean, that's why I thought, my first initial thought in going there was that maybe I could rope him in and go do this thing together. But, yeah, the only thing I want is him to go back inside and just be Hugo with, be dad and be with them and try to be normal for.
Cool.
Of course, he's not going to be normal, after seeing me, probably.
You know.
He's been through worse, probably. So, yeah. So we need to get back to the.
Okay. What are you guys doing in the meantime while that's happening?
We've been looking at maps of the brick,
Okay.
trying to pour over, old news articles to see if there was anybody interesting, to help us if we break them out.
Yeah, you see there's a few mentions of different heroes that look like they had trumped up bullshit charges that Dark Eagle put them in there with. One of them is Interface. Interface, though, you remember, isn't. He was in with Eagle when you went to Exemplar headquarters, and he's kind of a gray hat.
Okay.
And he's more of a hacker than an actual hero, and he doesn't really have powers beyond crazy computer skills. But you do note that the Fantastic Five minus one of their members, they're in there, and they would definitely be able to. The trick is going to be, though, if you're freeing everybody, trying to get them to not go after the villains you're freeing, and instead focus them on Dark Eagle. The only one that is no longer around, or at least isn't locked up, is Lunargent Thorn. Firefly, Georage, M-Field, and Europa are all still in there. And then other names of people are just, they could be villains, they could be heroes, you don't know, because it's people that were in between the years as he locked up folks. Alright, so you arrive. Go ahead.
Okay.
What are you going to tell
Saw
them?
Hugo and freaked him out, but he says that the only source for the power that we need is some sort of cosmic power that Eagles contained in these packs or whatever that power the drones, and the only storehouse for them must be in the tower.
Well, it's good to know he's as thorough as he's always been. I think our plan so far is to have Wheels and Lightning sneak into the power supply, I'm gonna telepathically link up with the Fantastic Five and Interface. I found out they were inside the brick to let them know about the jailbreak ahead of time and that they needed to come with us immediately. And I think as far as actually getting them out of the building, I mean, it's still a big brick building. We're going to need either some explosives or something crazy to actually get through. Which I'm hoping maybe Geo Rage could help us out with that from the inside if he hasn't atrophied away or anything.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
That's Rorschach saying that. Where does that leave Deke and Jax? This is Lightning. Lightning is like, Wheels and I are gonna make the electricity go haywire. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be using your telepathy, but where does that leave them? Are they...
Do you guys want to run steering the crowd into as far away from Dark Eagle's tower as possible? That way, he'll have to go out and respond to it.
I mean, I can try making my stealth cover more people, but I've never tried large groups like that. But I'm willing to give it a shot.
What was your idea exactly?
Well, if we make it really busy for all of his drones, we might be able to draw him out of the tower, so that way he's not there for us when we actually steal the battery.
Now, do you have the drone plans? Do you know where everyone is?
No.
Because she would know.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep. I have access to the network, so if it's the network that powers them, can we kind of make that go haywire?
Yeah, especially with your access and interface at our disposal. We might even be able to take them offline.
Okay, so about a block from the brick, which is now the Hawk Memorial Penitentiary, you and Lightning are kind of at this electrical box, and he says, now when we do this, it's going to be a little crazy for a bit. Actually, before we get to this scene, you roll your group stealth to see if everybody got there.
Oh, yeah. What is it called?
It's Unleash Your Powers. So,
hang on.
plus freak?
Plus freak.
Plus freak. Oh, okay. Freak is -1. Oh, brother.
4. Beautiful. Okay.
Great start. Don't forget to mark your potential.
Yeah, mark potential.
Oh, that's right.
Potentially the worst.
Worst ever. Worst ever.
So much potential.
That's enough.
So you think that you got everybody there fine. So we'll start there with
Okay.
Adam just walked away, so he was who I was going to start with.
Alright, can I try and establish a mental link with the Fantastic
we'll go with
Five and interface?
I'm assuming you guys aren't necessarily grouped together.
Okay.
Is that accurate, or are you... Okay.
There's only one entrance that we have to worry about?
Yeah, it's got the typical, like, dual fence, razor wire thing on the outside, but it's one main entrance as a way of keeping it secure. Who are you trying to contact first, or are you just sending out, like, a general...
I'm mentally looking for the Fantastic Five and interface. Probably Enfield would be the most responsive, I'm guessing, based on her name.
M field is for electromagnetic field,
Okay.
but with a PH, of course, because that's how the Fantastic Five spells their names. Yeah, you're able to establish a telepathic link with M field.
Okay.
You also are able to, if you want, contact Georage and Firefly.
All right.
You cannot, for some reason, get Europa or Interface at the moment.
Okay.
So, what do you say to Enfield?
Hey, we're gonna be breaking you guys out. This is Hawk.
He responds with the Hawk?
Yep.
Like the statues?
Yep. Unfortunately, yeah. With the statues.
Where the hell have you been? And why does he think you're dead?
Well, here, We time traveled to the future, and we need to get back to the past to prevent all this happening.
Oh, makes
but we
sense.
could use some help.
He seems pretty blasé about it. I'm thinking like Reed Richards kind of thing, where he's like, "Oh yeah, that would make sense," and you can kind of feel his mind like ticking through things, and like kind of everything's starting to piece together about what happened. And he's like, he says, "So my sister-in-law, Lynn Argent Thorne, is she still alive in your?"
I can't seem to contact her.
No, is she still alive in your time?
Oh,
back in the past.
yeah. I mean,
she would be, right?
You're right. I just took selfies with the Fantastic Five.
You did. He's like, "Oh, selfie. That's right. I remember that."
Yeah.
And he's, you get this like little bit of joy coming through.
Did he also remember that he smashed that space car?
No, that doesn't really bother them because they're not really a part of the exemplars. But he says, "Okay, what's your plan and what do you need me to do?"
We're gonna deactivate the collars, but we need Geo-Rage to smash you guys out.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. He's been pissed since he's been in here.
Okay. Also, if you can find interface in Europa, get you guys all together, basically.
You can't contact them?
No. I don't know if it's because of the collars or if they're somewhere special inside, but...
Oh, they might have gotten shadowed. There's been a situation that's been developing in here where people have not been themselves.
I think I might know who's behind that.
Okay, I will just wait and I'll make sure I find Geo-Rage and let him get us out.
Sweet.
As soon as you guys do what you need to do. You're at the electrical box and Lightning is saying, "Okay, Wheels, the trick with being in this, it's going to feel like you're running in a tunnel. Periodically, it's going to spread as you hit the different wire junctions." And he's like pointing at the wire. So he's like, "You're going to be running in the tunnel. And when you get to, and there's like a split where the wire hits this connector, he's like, it'll look like a little hallway with all these different things. It's hard to know where you're going, but you can move at the speed of electricity. So it's also very fast. It might take us a few minutes to find the entrance to the actual Hawk prison." And he's like pointing at one of the statues. But if we generally try to head, you can feel magnetism when you're in there too, I should mention. So if you generally, and he positioned you guys like south of it. So he's like, you should feel north magnetically. So just generally head towards the pole. And you'll know what I mean when we get in there. So to start, and he grabs your arm, and you feel him vibrating, like very subtly. And then you start to feel this buildup of ions around both of you. And then it spreads, and eventually you look over, and he's like covered in electricity, and his skin is actually starting to turn into little sparks and stuff. And he touches a point on the electric box. Unleash your powers.
9.
9. Okay. Oh, we didn't do team. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. Do you want to take a condition, or do you want me to tell you how it is unstable, temporary, or... Yeah, how it is unstable or temporary.
Unstable or temporary.
Okay. You... Right before you go into the tunnel, you hear an explosion behind you. Whoever's outside, I'm assuming all three of you are outside at the moment. Mm-hmm. You guys hear an explosion, and you actually see like a fireball go into the air where Wheels and Lightning were at. You're inside, and you're fine. But you're inside, and it's exactly like he said. It's like running through a tunnel. But the tunnel it's weird because it feels claustrophobic, but it also feels like it fits comfortably. So it's almost like running through a glove. And you're just pulsing through, and you're following Lightning, because as soon as you got in, he let go of your arm, and you're like right behind him. So you can kind of see, sort of, you get these sense impressions. And you guys are just zipping through things. What do you guys do when you hear the explosion?
I reach out to Enfield and tell them get ready. We've started.
Okay. What are Deke and Jax doing?
We've already made sure that the robots are offline.
No.
Oh, well then I'd be doing that because we don't. If we heard this, they certainly probably heard that.
Okay, so
the explosion is a result of their transformation into electricity. Was that what that was?
You don't know because you're not there. I mean, you can go investigate if you want to do that, but
No, so I'm assuming you have some sort of portable access to the news feed.
yeah, it's like a nano screen that just kind of like rolls and then unrolls.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, yeah. So I'm visibly trying to make sure that those things go offline.
Okay, so what you're seeing on there is all of these dots that are all the drones, and they're all starting to converge on the area where the explosion was. In the sky, you two see there's just drones everywhere. At first, it looks like, there's just single lights on most of them that aren't bright yet. So from a distance, it kind of looks like stars that are moving or shooting stars or something like that. And then they just start to kind of gather, and it's just like the lights just huge. You notice that they're forming the shape of an eagle, the way that they're flying.
Yeah.
Like it's subtle, but you can see it. And they're all moving as one now, and they're right over where you guys know Wheels and Lightning were at. Luckily, this is not where you guys are all at. You're further away than that. So you can't shut them down until you get interface.
Memo, do you think you can work some magic on their formation?
Like, how? I can't just, like, make them, like, think something else is up there. I mean, they're robots. They ain't got a human brain.
No?
They're not even, programmed like a human.
Okay. I'm wondering if there's some other way we can, like, jinx them, or I can try and push them into each other.
Unleash your powers.
Did you ever need to invest in a gun? I mean, that might have just helped.
Actually, do you want to unleash your powers, or do you want... Well, yeah, you want... Never mind. You're infecting the environment. You're not really directly engaging them. Oh, let's do the...
Wait, Jax, do you still have that heat gun?
Heat gun. I don't think I've ever used it.
You have not.
I still have 4 uses. Oh, okay.
See, that's why you bring guns.
Yeah.
Team. Let's do this. When you guys enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. That's what's here. Who's the leader? Hawk again.
Yeah.
Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Okay. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, is that true? You guys all have the same purpose?
Yeah.
Survive.
Yeah. Not get caught.
Jailbreak.
Yeah.
Jailbreak.
Yeah.
That sounds like
So are you guys...
purposes.
Are you not getting caught and you survive, or are you guys jailbreak?
We're all...
They're different than...
Oh.
Those are different intentions.
Okay. No, I'm on board helping them get this happening.
Close
Jailbreak.
enough, yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anyone mistrust the team leader?
No.
Nah, not yet.
Does the team leader mistrust anyone on the team?
No.
Okay.
He's got entirely too many statues, but it's not his fault.
Are you guys ill-prepared or off balance?
I think we came in with a plan, so it's about as prepared as we can be.
Okay. So how are you guys working together? He's unleashing to try to, like... You're trying to change their formation?
Yeah,
and
group
maybe
them really close together.
Okay. And then you using the heat gun on them?
Yeah, if you can
Okay.
group them close enough together.
And I'll throw a rock.
Granny style. Just, how's the range on this thing?
It seems pretty good when it was being used against
I
us.
was
This
going to
is
say,
true.
it should be fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
It says to roll plus mundane the first time you use it, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and roll plus mundane.
Now, was it a beam or a blast?
It is a beam.
So you can just actually, sweep
Strafe
a little
it,
bit.
yeah.
Classic,
Oh my god.
classic Kirby heat
6.
beam. Anybody want to help?
Take a Benny, and I throw a rock at one, just moves it far enough that she makes contact.
Okay. I will accept that. So
Okay.
See, I'm helping.
your beam goes out, and it cuts right through the middle of them. So there's like this big hole now, and then a bunch of them explode, and it is a huge explosion.
So much for stealthy.
Like, small
Oops.
mushroom cloud, huge.
Oh, okay.
I'd say don't get close to them.
Like mini nuke from Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of explosion. It's just like...
Okay.
The rest of them kind of like are blown away by it, and then they slowly start to come back together.
So I still
and
can't...
They shoot a beam at you, where the beam that shot them came from.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to evade that.
Go ahead and roll...
Blow.
Yeah, go ahead and take a powerful blow. Roll plus conditions. Do you have any conditions marked?
I don't.
Good. Don't add it. And roll low. You want low on this one.
Okay.
You miss? You get a miss?
I got 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Mark
That's
potential.
a perfect roll in this situation.
Yeah. Mark potential.
Potential, yeah, got more potential.
You see it coming from like a mile away. You know that they know where you're at. So when you see them starting to gather, and then you start to see the light of their beam coming back, you kind of hoof it and you parkour yourself up a building side until you're hanging on a building like stealthily on a windowsill.
Okay. That's actually my goal for this year, is to actually parkour something. For real. I know. Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, but, I've been watching American Ninja Warrior all these years. Come on. How hard can it be?
I got a big backyard. I can make a course.
Off the wall.
Maybe just start with monkey bars.
There you go. Oh, my God.
We want to go swinging. Cassandra and I, we want to go to St. Pat's Park and swing. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm up on the side of the building.
Yep, and you see the beam hit where you were.
Okay.
And craters the ground, like down into the civic access tunnels down below. You can kind of see, like, yeah, that wouldn't have been good to get hit by.
No, but are there any civic people in these civic tunnels?
No,
okay.
No. The streets since Dark Eagle took over, it's like sundown, nobody's outside.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Oh, curfew.
It's like, yeah,
okay.
it's known.
Cool.
Like, if you're going to be out after dark, you better have a damn good reason, and Dark Eagle better already know about it.
Hey, Hawk, did those plans include the tunnels? Because that might be a good escape point,
Right. You can dip in there real quick.
You do smell a rotten egg smell coming out.
Uh-oh.
Great.
Scratch that idea.
Okay, not going in the tunnels, guys. So this has 4, I have 4 uses of this gun. So since they fired again, is Hawk still trying to keep them, like, pull them back together? Are they pulling themselves back together?
You can do that. You want to take another shot?
Yeah, I'll take the rest of them out if we can.
You've taken out probably a third of them with that shot.
7, 8.
8? Okay. You have a moment. Go ahead and roll plus mundane again.
Oh, yes. 12.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Okay. There's a moment when he's doing his telekinesis. There's this moment, and in the comic, it's like, there's a series of panels of them getting pulled together, and there's this moment where they're balled as closely as he can get them, and then there's your character kind of looking through the gun, but the view is from this angle, and there's like this little grin on her lips as she sees her opportunity, and then and the Kirby beam with the single thing with a little bit of dots in them and the little spiral thing going around it goes out from the gun, hits them clustered, and they just and for several seconds there is essentially daylight throughout the city as this huge cluster of Eagle drones are just done. They're just blown up. Wheels. You're running through the tubes, and you get to this point where you are you feel like you're running in a circle. Because it's just like you're whipping around and really fast with lightning. There's this weird buzzing, and for some reason you can actually tell what it is. It's lightning talking to you, but he's talking like electricity talks. So it's this weird kind of zzz noise. But you understand that he wants to split off from here. He wants you to take one of the tunnels, one of the wires out, and go run as hard as you can into the end point of it, and then just kind of let yourself feel the release. And then he's going to do the same thing in a different direction. And he thinks that these are the mainframe computers that control the majority of the electronics. So he splits off from you and leaves you in there. And what do you do? Do you follow his advice or?
Yeah, I'll follow his advice and go
Okay.
the other way until the end of the...
Go ahead and use directly engage a threat. It might not match up 1-to-1 with what's actually going on, but we'll make it fit as best we can.
6.
Is it danger? Is your danger 0?
Yeah.
Excellent. You get potential. As you're traveling through, you feel a surge come from the other direction where lightning was at, and it comes through on your end, and when you get to the end point, you, instead of being able to release the energy when you get there, you kind of are stuck. And you can see through the cameras throughout the Hawk Memorial Penitentiary. You can see through all the cameras now. And you're like, great. I don't know how to get out of here. But you also feel like you can open things if you want.
Like,
you can open gates. You can release collars. You can... all of that.
All right.
You have complete control of the place, but you don't know how the hell you're going to get out. And on one of your cameras, you see an exploded computer station, and Lightning is standing out in the camera field, and he's running around, tangling with a few security guards that are there, just beating the shit out of them at super speed.
Like a speed back on their face.
What do you do?
I guess I'm going to try and open cell doors.
Okay. You notice that the collars that are on people are still on them, and they still look like they're lit up, but the lights in the building are done. They're like out, and there are these automatic turrets and stuff around, and they're all depowered. So it seems like those are the systems that Lightning hit, and you have control of the other systems.
Okay.
So all the doors start to open, and all the security guards are like freaking out, and they're going to the different rooms with their batons and then their guns, and they're like trying to make sure the villains don't leave the cells. And it looks like the villains and the heroes are mostly listening to them at the moment because they still have the activated collars.
Is there a way that I see to be able to release the collars?
If you unleash your powers.
All right. So 12.
Beautiful. Collars all pop off, and it's
immediate kick.
He was the first one that takes a swipe at the guards.
0 to 100 real quick.
The first person to nail a guard is Georage. And your view is not of the cell, so you can't actually see what he looks like when he's not transformed. But it's like in the hallway, the guard goes in, and then the guard comes out and is in the wall, like smashed into the wall. And then through into the hallway it's like he's like the Thing, except for all those little creases and crevices where there's space between rocks. You can actually see like what looks like lava glowing in there. And he's just wandering down the hall and just wailing on people, just pushing them out of the way, hitting them, knocking them down. And then when he gets to the end of the hall, he just starts going through the wall, just pounding on the wall. You guys notice, you especially can hear, okay, we're free, and Georage is getting us out. What do you guys do?
Well, since they can't go into the tunnels because of the gas, gotta try to get them away from our aerial explosions and away from the prison. I can try to use my stealth, but again, I haven't used it for a large group of people.
Okay, so who are you going to try to use it with? Like all the prisoners when they come out? Or are you just waiting for them to come out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just enough, not like for a long distance, just enough to get them like out of the shadow of the prison.
Are you still in the windowsill?
I am right now.
Okay. You see some flaming debris heading toward the tunnel from the explosion.
Okay.
What do you do?
Alright. So where's Hawk? Are you actually inside?
We're on like the other side of the prison. Yeah.
But we're still linked telepathically. We've got some debris incoming, and there's gas in the crater that they created. And are you able to maybe shove those off course to come over there?
Yeah, I can try that.
Since it's becoming necessary for you guys to know where you are, we'll just say that this is the brick. It's all enclosed.
You would think that city planners wouldn't put a prison in the middle of downtown.
You'd think. But there's
They
never
don't care
been
about tourism.
there's never been a prison break. So that is where the explosion was. I'm trying to figure out where Jax would be. You were probably around here, I think.
Okay.
And then you guys were like maybe over here somewhere. Does that seem accurate?
Yeah.
Alright, so there's like an alleyway that you guys are in here.
Where's Duke?
I'm assuming you were with Hawk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When he's like, hey, you want to do something? Like, not really my forte right here.
So there's the explosion, and you are inside of here. So the hole in the ground is probably just like right over here.
Which way are the prisoners coming out? Like when they come out, where will they be heading?
They would be coming out here because this is the primary entrance.
Okay, so we had to run the other way. Back toward.
Yeah.
Not toward the hole. Run.
There's moments. Flaming debris falling down.
So I've asked Hawk to see what he can do about maybe shoving those off course.
Far away.
Save yourself.
Yeah. I might just tell you to get out of there. Steer the prisoners clear.
Okay. Okay, well I'm gonna then run, like, just leap from, like, this fire escape to fire escape all the way down to here.
Go ahead and unleash your powers.
Okay. Fuck.
Potential.
Okay.
Mark potential. You have so much
I have
potential.
so much potential. Getting
Okay, you get pretty far, and then you're bounding off of a window ledge up to a fire escape, and you grab the edge of the fire escape, and the whole thing comes down. This building at one point had a similar fire to the one that you saw, and now it's all weak, and you didn't notice that in your hurry. So the whole thing comes down with you. Take a powerful blow as you fall. You want those other dice back since they roll low?
6.
That's good.
That's good.
You still made it. Okay. As you're falling, you manipulate the fire escape, and you're like on top of it, and then you jump off, and you land into the burnout building through one of the windows that had blown out.
Okay.
And outside, you hear a huge and see all this bright fire from the gas explosion.
God.
Now, you guys can see like a spout of flame just shooting up. What do you two do?
I get in touch with the Fantastic Five and make sure they know which way to not go.
Big flame ball. Run the other way. Other way from the big flame ball.
Just a fountain of flame just shooting up. Enfield's like copy, and then you guys see kind of through the alleyway, you see one of the wall just bust open. Geo-Ray just standing there. The other 3 members of the Fantastic Five, well, 2 of the other ones, because Europa's not there, they are behind him. And they kind of like grab onto his shoulders, and then he just jumps down into the street. Do you...
Yeah. Like, hey.
Okay. They kind of run towards you, and then that's when you see Europa come from the side and bunch of ice, like frost, from her hands, and freeze Geo-Rage and the 2 others in a block of ice. What do you do?
This looks like a job for the Deke.
Okay. What are you going to do?
Psychic blast and kind of basically just give her so splitting of a headache she does not remember where she's been the last 5 minutes.
Directly engage a threat.
Alright. Threat, that is danger.
Potential.
Yeah.
So much potential.
What'd you get then?
3.
Okay. You go to get into her head, to cause your effect. It's like a solid... Visually, in the comic, it's whatever... What does your power normally look like when you're affecting people's brains, like on the comic page?
Well, it's usually kind of ethereal. Like, I just kind of like can float from point to point and like the red, like just...
So does it look like a little
through.
bit...
It's like a little
version.
membrane that I can just kind of like go through.
So it's going... You're
diving.
Yeah, you're like trying to dive in, and it's like a solid block of obsidian, and you just can't get into it. It just doesn't let you in. And in fact, when you touch it, you feel this cold energy wash over your physical body. Take a powerful blow.
Haha. This is another one. But I do actually get to take an advancement. That was...
Oh, cool.
5 up.
Okay, so you're able to like shrug off the cold feeling. You're like, I've had Slurpees that are colder than that.
I've stolen Slurpees colder than that.
What does Hawk do?
I guess I'm going to take them to the fire. To melt them
Telekinesis. Okay.
I also want to try and get in touch with Wheels, make sure he's okay. So as we're running away.
When you telepathically try to contact Wheels, you get this weird pulsing rhythm of things back. Just ones and zeros, like an on-off kind of thing.
Alright. Call Lightning next.
Okay, when you contact Lightning, there's a split second where he's got this really negative reaction to you being in his head because of your history.
Yeah.
Like his mind is not fragmented anymore for the moment. Like he's been lucid as long as he's been here, as far as you know. Mm-hmm. So there's this like sense of I don't want that to happen again. Get the fuck out of my head, kind of thing. What do?
I'm gonna replay that message to him. Say it's from Wheels.
Go ahead and unleash your powers because he's trying to shake you out of his head for a second. He's nervous about you being there.
8.
You're able to get one message, one sentence through. What is your sentence?
I think Wheels is stuck.
Okay. That's as long as you're allowed to speak before he just shuts off. And I'll cut over to Wheels in a second. But go ahead, you were going to move the ice cube that is the Fantastic 3 now.
Yeah. Is that another unleash my powers over to the fireball to like melt them out?
I'm going to say that as you're trying to focus on that, Europa actually catches you, sees you, and she throws a blast of cold your direction. So take a powerful blow.
10.
Adding your conditions?
No.
Oh, you got a 10 on the roll?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Okay. On a 10 plus, choose one. You must remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc. You lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way, or you can take 2 options from the 7 to 9 list.
Let's lose control of myself and my powers in a terrible way.
Amazing! So happy. Okay.
Oh no.
Deke and Jax, you both hear a scream in your head, and it is ungodly loud. You both need to take a powerful blow.
7. Damn it.
5? Mark potential. And you're okay, because you're like, okay, this sounds a little bit like when Hugo was a baby and he would scream, but I think I can manage this. So what do you get, Deke?
7, so I gotta take one of the following. Lash out verbally, give ground, opposition gets opportunity, or you're struggling past the pain, marking 2 conditions. Well, this is more of those situations where it's like, what the hell, dude? Little heads up would have been nice. So, I'll lash out verbally.
Okay, are you going to provoke him to a foolhardy action, or are you going to inflict a condition on him?
I'm going to invoke him to do something foolhardy.
Okay. What does that look like? What do you do that's foolhardy? By the way, all the windows around you smashed too.
Okay.
Every building that was in this block has no windows anymore. from your crazy psychic scream.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and restrain Europa.
Physically?
Like,
because that seems foolhardy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I like it.
Don't trust my power.
Yeah, go ahead and directly engage a threat.
5. Where's my...
Danger.
Roll danger. Okay, 5.
Okay,
Roll bombs.
give me 1 second.
That was 2 though, right?
Yes. You go to restrain her physically, and she encases herself in a sheen of ice. So when you grab, you just slip off, and then the ground under her is icy too, and you just kind of do the kicking the feet thing, trying to get feet under you, and you fall on your ass. And she encases you in ice while you're down there, so you're stuck on the ground. Deke.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Europa has Hawk on the ground, pinned with a ice.
This would be a good time for that heat gun
Yes!
to come around.
Yes! Like heat, ice, good. Good. Oh dear. Aim could do damage.
You're a bit far away,
Yeah.
and you're in a
But I
burned out
heard-
building.
But I would think I would start moving toward this when I heard Hawk in my head.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
bad, but I'm still moving
Okay.
toward there. And
We'll do one thing with Deke, and then
Well, I'm going to assess the situation as best I can here.
okay.
That is a 6, and
I think it's superior.
superior, which is a 9.
Okay.
All right. And I get to ask 1. What can we use? What's the biggest threat? Huge danger. How could we best end this quickly? Go with that one. How could we best get out of this situation quickly without any of us, getting captured?
If this will apply to 3 of the 4 of you, if you have Jax use the stealth to turn you all invisible, you could sneak away and abandon everything that's going on currently, which includes leaving Wheels wherever he's at, and leaving the Fantastic 3 where they're at, and just letting the rest of the prison break foment as it will, and then just getting out. As far as you know, it's just Europa that is not being herself, and it would be fairly easy for the massive amount of people breaking out of the prison to overwhelm Europa. So that would take care of itself, and then you guys would not be captured or anything.
Actually, as a side idea, I just came up with something else. Domingo, he's been locked up for a while. He could probably help me. He's got more experience with this, mental stuff.
Okay.
Right, let's see if I can project and try to find Domingo. Let the old Mesmero come to our assistance.
Okay. Unleash your powers.
Alright. That is an 8 plus Freak, which is 11.
Okay. You find Domingo shortly. He is now in a wheelchair. He got in, you can tell from memories and stuff that he got into a tussle with GeoRage that he should not have. And the dude broke his spine. But he kind of recognizes you, and even though his mind is still old, he responds to what's your communication?
It's like, hey, you mind doing a double whammy attack? I think we could probably take this bitch.
He's actually still in the prison and still in his cell. And he's like resigned to just being there. But he's like, if you can get me out there so I can see her, I can help.
Let's see. That's gonna be difficult. Hold on one, guys. I'm gonna go into the prison real quick and
Everybody's running out. He's running in.
Yeah. Just gonna be a second. Don't mind me. Keep up the good work though, guys. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jump to Jax first a bit. Okay, so you were in a burnout building, and I'm assuming you kind of like climbed up and then jumped wherever you could. We're gonna say you're close. You're like right down here. But you see as you're jumping this road to the next building, you see that this front area has been completely torn open. And there's a man who looks like he's just metal. And he has busted his way out, and he actually has the gate in his hand, and he's swinging it at security guards and just knocking them aside. Okay. And you see, in this road, you can see the frozen Fantastic Three and Hawk on the ground with Europa standing over him. And you're like, here. Okay. What do you do?
Well, I still got the heat gun. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hit Hawk or the Fantastic Five, but I don't really owe Europa anything.
Okay.
And so I think maybe toast your toes a little bit, with the
Take
heat
your
gun.
shot.
What am I rolling for here?
Plus mundane.
Oh, okay. That doesn't help. What is that? 3? 3.
You got a 3?
I got a 3.
How's your mundane so low?
It's +1.
Oh, people must have been shifting your labels.
Yeah, they moved it down. I was 2, and then somebody moved it
down. Your blast misses Europa. Hits the block of ice that is the Fantastic Three. There's like a steam explosion from the mix of hot and cold.
Okay.
The 3 of them, when it clears, are on the ground, injured. They don't look very well. Europa has been blasted against the wall that's nearby. Hawk, take a condition. Whatever one you think is appropriate to suddenly being free, toasted. But burned slightly from steam.
Oops.
Sorry, my I'll go with insecure, just because I got myself in that situation to begin with.
Okay. Europa seems sort of down, but not out. The 3 members of the Fantastic Five definitely seem like they're out. Wheels. There's like a camera that looks down into the room where you're at in the computer. So you're seeing like the computer you're in through this camera. And lightning comes flying in. And then he's like, this is going to look crazy, but don't be scared. I know what I'm doing. And then he vibrates at a frequency where the lightning gathers around his fist, and then he punches the console that you're in with the lightning fist, and there's like this surge of electricity. It kind of jolts you out of your situation where you're stuck, and you're flying through wires again, but take a condition, because it hurts.
Go with angry.
Okay. Where do you go in the wires?
Try to go back to where I came from, even though it's blown up, but...
Okay. So just head in that direction.
Yeah.
So you get to about here, and you feel someone trying to redirect you. How do you respond? They're like, you can feel them like coaxing you into a different direction.
I guess I'll go.
Okay. So, as you go, you feel yourself get into this feels like a giant room. And it has a whole bunch of other power in it. And then, as you're in it, it's kind of like, it's like swimming, but it's like swimming through vibrations, kind of. It feels really weird. Go ahead and unleash your powers.
8.
Okay. You feel yourself explode, essentially. Like, there's this giant release of energy as the rest of the energy you were swimming in kind of gets absorbed into you for a minute, and then it just pushes out. Everybody that is able to sees a giant explosion in this part of the prison. It's like from below the prison almost, and it goes up and out. And there's just debris flying everywhere, buildings flying, building bits flying everywhere. And you are in the center of the crater that it formed, unharmed now. You're out. I mean, you're still angry from your marking, but you're like in the bottom of this crater. And as you look up, you see lightning at the edge of one of the floors above, looking down, and he's just like, holy shit. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Green Hill Gamer Guild podcast. If you'd like to find more information out about the guild, go to greenhillgamerguild.com, where you can find all kinds of information about us and current and past episodes. If you like what we've done, give us a review and click subscribe. If you'd like to support us, consider supporting our Patreon. Thank you, and have a great day.